Prior to June 15th, 2021, when Juneteenth became a federal holiday for all states to practice, Texas was the primary place where the birth of Juneteenth came about.
The preliminary Emancipation Proclamation issued by Abraham Lincoln in September of 1862 proclaimed all those slaves that were in states that were currently in rebellion to be henceforth and forever free if those states did not rejoin the Union by January 1st, 1863. So the Emancipation Proclamation didn't really mean much unless they won the war. It's not as if Lincoln proclaimed these slaves emancipated and the Confederate States just said, oh, well, I guess we gotta free our slaves now.
2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed those slaves in states that were in rebellion against the Union, you had Major General Gordon Granger, who went into Texas, which was the last stronghold, and announces to the enslaved people there that they were in fact free.
Black folks had fought and died for emancipation since well before the Civil War, but this time they actually won.
It's a celebration of freedom as well as a remembrance of the past. It's definitely a day of mixed feelings. So even though slaves were free on June 19th, 1865, people were not treated equally.
I embrace the part of Juneteenth that reminds me that we're free. I embrace the part of Juneteenth that reminds me that there's a need for continual emotional emancipation. But in terms of what it means in terms of this country, it's more an indictment of how Africans were treated even after the Emancipation Proclamation.
Juneteenth is a celebration certainly around the experiences of African Americans, but it's also a celebration about what the true meaning of freedom and justice is for everybody. It's an example that any great nation is willing to acknowledge its own mistakes and being willing to take and correct itself.
We pushed for it, we fought for it in the Civil War. We weren't idle before that, before Juneteenth, and we certainly have not been idle subsequently.
And we want all of our students here to be recognized in our district, and I think we do an excellent job of that. These kinds of celebrations remind all people, not just African American students, of our mission, of our vision, that we have an obligation to have freedom and justice for everyone.